Hello Eagles, Miss Vitela here with your instructional support while at home video for 7th grade reading. This video is an introduction for Thank You Ma'am from your My Perspective workbooks. Your purpose as a reader is to read a realistic short story and consider if people can really change. While you read, think about the conflict and look for ways it can be resolved. Be sure to stop and reflect often on how the characters change throughout the story. Do they stay the same, or do they grow in some manner? Since you know we will be reading a realistic short story, let's review the genre and structure. Realistic fiction is imaginary, but uses true-to-life characters, events, and situations. Just like Titanic the movie, the event of the Titanic sinking was real, but the love story between Jack and Rose was fictional. The story will have the components or elements of plot. Pay attention to the setting. Identify the location and time period. Does the story occur in a current time frame or in the past? Remember, boys and girls, the setting is important because it influences the plot. Next, take some time to understand the conflict. Ask yourselves, is it internal, man versus self, or external, man versus man, man versus society, man versus technology, or man versus supernatural? Think about the feelings the characters are experiencing as a result of the conflict. Theme represents the lesson you are supposed to take away from this story. Stories can have multiple themes depending on which character you focus on. Dialogue within this story is marked with quotation marks and represent that a character is speaking. Lastly, the narrator provides information from a certain perspective. Look out for clues like she, they, them, or I, we, my to indicate the point of view. When authors write fictional stories, they take a great deal of time thinking of specific words to help create imagery. Your job is to take these words and visualize a picture in your mind as you read. Authors also use sensory language in their stories to be descriptive. This helps support imagery. The last element authors often use in fictional stories is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing are clues within the text that give you hints on what will happen next. Let's move on to vocabulary you will be seeing in this story. Permit means to allow. Release means to let go or set free. And contact means connection or communication. Here's an example of these three words in a normal, setting. After contact with Officer Reyes, I was permitted to release my students to the next class following the lock-in with the hold. In this example, I use permit, release, and contact. Have you seen or used these words before? A couple of reminders as you begin to read. Respect all the punctuation. If it's a period, don't fly by it, stop. If there's a question mark, ask it in a questioning tone. If there's an exclamation point, make sure you read it with excitement. Those commas are for pauses. Allow yourself to be transported as you are reading. It is okay to put yourself in that character's position. Reread as often as needed. There may be some times where you don't understand something, and it is definitely okay to go back and reread. Last but not least, don't forget to annotate the text. Annotation is very important because it helps your teachers understand your thinking as you are reading. Well, boys and girls, that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next video where we will build background for the rest of the story. Have a good day.